In 2025, everything feels more expensive: groceries, rent, gas. It's a full-blown cost of living crisis, and saving money today feels harder than ever. And yet, somehow, families in the 1880s survived inflation without smartphones, side hustles, or even indoor plumbing.
How?
Many people are working harder, but still feel like they're falling behind. But over 140 years ago, families faced similar struggles and survived on almost nothing. Take Sarah Wilkins, a mother of 5 living on the Nebraska prairie in 1885. Imagine feeding 5 kids on just $12 a month, with no Amazon, no supermarkets, no safety net. And yet they thrived.
How?
There were no credit cards, no supermarkets, and no Amazon. But they made it work, not with luck, but with smart, frugal habits that helped them stretch every penny. These old-fashioned money habits were more than survival. They were a way to live below your means with dignity. We're chasing money hacks online, but what if the ultimate cheat codes for financial survival were tested 140 years ago by people who had no option but to get it right? In this video, we'll look at powerful, forgotten habits from the 1880s that are surprisingly useful right now, especially if you're trying to live better without spending more. Life in the 1880s was simple but far from easy. Most families lived in small homes with no electricity, no running water, and no heating except for a wood stove. People worked hard from sunrise to sunset just to get by. There were no fast food or delivery apps. Everything was homemade, from bread and butter to clothes and soap. Money was tight, and waste wasn't an option. Every item had a purpose. If a shirt got too old to wear, it became a cleaning rag or a quilt piece. Food scraps went to animals or into the garden. Tools and supplies were shared between neighbors because not everyone could afford their own. But this lifestyle wasn't just about surviving. It was about being smart with what you had. People planned ahead, worked with their hands, and supported each other. There was pride in making things last. Today, we often chase convenience. But with rising prices and more people looking to save money, the old ways are making a comeback. These habits from the 1880s weren't just practical, they were powerful. And they still work, even in our modern world. Habit 1. Frugality as a social identity, not a budget trick. In the 1880s, being frugal wasn't just a way to save money, it was part of who you were. This wasn't just a frugal mindset, it was a stealth wealth identity before the term existed. People took pride in living simply, wasting nothing, and making the most of what they had. Being careful with money showed strength, skill, and wisdom. It wasn't hidden, it was respected. This was frugal living at its finest, proud, public, and powerful. Today, frugality is often seen as boring or something to be embarrassed about. But back then, it was a source of pride. Neighbors would praise someone for patching clothes or growing their own food. So, instead of hiding your frugal habits, share them. Post your clever DIY fixes, money-saving meals, or thrift finds. Not to brag, but to inspire others and build a new kind of status. Frugality isn't about being cheap. It's about being smart, creative, and free. When we treat it as a lifestyle, not just a budget trick, it becomes powerful. Habit 2. Circular microeconomies within neighborhoods. In the 1880s, many people didn't use cash for everything. Instead, they traded goods and services with neighbors. A woman might trade fresh eggs for bread. A boy might chop wood in exchange for a warm meal. These small, local trade systems were called barter economies, and they helped families meet their needs without spending money. Think of it as an early version of today's local buy-nothing groups, a true circular economy rooted in neighborhood savings. This built strong communities where people helped each other instead of always buying from stores. Everyone had something to offer: time, skills, or goods. Today, we can bring this idea back. With rising prices, sharing and trading in your neighborhood can save money and build trust. It was like a no-spend challenge, but built into daily life. Join or start a local swap group, online or in person. Trade clothes, babysitting, gardening, or even home repairs. Apps like Buy Nothing or local Facebook groups make it easy. The 1880s proved that money isn't always the answer. Community is. Habit 3. Time-rich living, the real luxury of the 1880s. In today's world of burnout and 24/7 hustle culture, it's hard to imagine what slow living really felt like. But in the 1880s, that was normal, not because people were lazy, but because they lived with fewer distractions. There were no phones, no endless emails, and no social media. Families spent time together cooking, talking, and working side by side, the kind of slow living and minimalist lifestyle many crave today. Even chores felt meaningful because they were part of daily life, not something to rush through. This slower pace gave people something many of us miss today: peace of mind. They had time to think, rest, and enjoy simple moments. Now, we're always busy, but often with things that drain us instead of helping us grow. Fast living is stressful and expensive. Use frugal habits to gain back time. Cook at home instead of eating out and take a quiet walk. Turn off your phone during dinner. Time is a treasure. In the 1880s, they guarded it carefully. Maybe it's time we do the same. And the best part? These habits didn't just save money, they built quiet, generational wealth. We'll get to that next. Habit 4. Multigenerational wealth was built at the kitchen table. In the 1880s, families didn't talk about money in private. They talked about it together, right at the kitchen table. Parents discussed bills, savings, and plans for the future with their children listening or joining in. Money wasn't a secret. It was a shared family skill. Kids learned by watching and helping. A child might help count coins for the week's groceries or learn how much it costs to feed the farm animals. These everyday lessons taught the value of money, hard work, and planning, lessons that stuck for life. Today, many families avoid money talk, especially with kids. But hiding money problems or decisions can lead to confusion, fear, or bad habits later on. When families share financial lessons early, they build trust, knowledge, and long-term success. Try this modern twist. Hold a weekly family money check-in. Even if it's just 10 minutes, talk about a small goal like saving for a trip, cutting one expense, or planning meals to reduce waste. Let kids or partners join in. You don't need to be rich to build wealth. You just need to pass on the right habits. The 1880s families knew this, and it worked one kitchen table at a time. These weren't just money talks. They were lessons in generational wealth building. Habit 5. Built-in slow money mindset. In the 1880s, money didn't move fast. People were paid monthly or even just after harvest season. There were no credit cards, instant bank transfers, or buy now, pay later deals. Because money came slowly, families had to plan carefully. They made each dollar last, and every spending choice was made with care, a true live below your means mindset in action. This slow pace helped people avoid quick, emotional decisions. It taught them to think ahead and be patient, a powerful habit that protected them from debt. Today, we can spend money in seconds with one click or tap, but that speed often leads to regret and wasted money. Try this. Set up a money buffer account. When you get paid, let it sit untouched for 24 to 48 hours before moving it to your main spending account. That short pause gives you time to think and brings back the calm, clear mindset of the past. Slow money is smart money. Habit 6. Deep resource rotation. Nothing had a single use. In the 1880s, every item had more than one use. A shirt that got too old was turned into a cleaning rag. When the rag wore out, it became stuffing for a pillow. A wooden crate might be used for storage, then firewood. Nothing was thrown away quickly. People found new ways to use what they had. This smart habit saved money, reduced waste, and made daily life more creative. People didn't just buy more, they used better. Today, we often toss things after one use, or buy items for just one purpose. But the 1880s mindset can help us stretch our stuff and our money. Look around your home. Can old jars become storage? Can worn-out towels become cleaning cloths? Can leftovers turn into new meals? This was the original downsizing to save money, not by shrinking space, but by stretching every item's value. The goal is simple. Get the full value out of everything you own, just like they did in the past, and it still works today. People in the 1880s weren't rich, but they were resourceful. They knew how to live well with less, not because they had to, but because it made life stronger, simpler, and more secure. Frugal living wasn't about being cheap. It was about being smart, prepared, and in control. Today, with rising prices and constant pressure to spend, these old habits are more useful than ever. They remind us that true wealth isn't just money, it's knowing how to manage what you have. Frugal living still works, even for financial independence on a low income. Just one of these 1880s habits, one shift, could protect your money, your peace, and your freedom. So try one today, and if it works, share it. Because the old ways, They just might be our future. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.